So I have Matt and Paolo from Trivium with me. How are you guys?
Great, man. How are you?
Good. Very, very good. So let's get straight into it. Your brand new album, The Sin and the Sentence, it's the most aggressive you guys have sounded in quite a while, I think. Was that something that you actively wanted to do? Or?
Looked at everything we've ever done in the past and we said, what are our favorite things we've done? What are our favorite records? What are the ones we feel like we've truly nailed it? And while all 7 are records that we love and are proud of, in our heads it kept coming back to like In Waves and Ascendancy and Shogun. It's not a matter of going back, but what were the circumstances we were in when we were doing those records? And that was always the 4 of us in a room together, making the music, singing the things before ever setting foot in the studio, having the plans there, having the music 99 to 100% done before even walking into the studio. And that's what we did with this record. We made the kind of music we wanted to hear as fans of metal, and we made the kind of music that we wanted to hear as us outside of Trivium. So like, what is the kind of stuff we want to hear right now? And it was this record.
So what was Alex Bent's kind of contribution to that?
We kind of had like a template for like drumming on a lot of the songs, especially the demos. Like we use Superior Drummer, which sounds incredible. You can get some cool beats going, but you cannot replace having a real drummer in the rehearsal spot, you know, listening to your riffs and just kind of playing something back to you. There's this like give and take that you have to have. We told him to really, you know, think about it musically, be creative. You know, if you have some really wild ideas, throw them out there. Don't be afraid. You know, this is a new situation for you, but these songs are going to be yours. When you're on the record, you know, you're the drummer of Trivium, so you need to own them.
Okay. So what about the album's title? What inspired, you know, the reason for calling it The Sin and the Sentence?
Yeah, initially the record was surprisingly going to be called The Revanchist, which is something we all dug. And when you pre-plan things severely ahead of time, things can always shift and evolve. And eventually, as we started having this music completed, we started seeing the artwork, we're like, you know what, this record feels like Trivium, so let's call it Trivium. And then when we first saw the symbols, the iconography of the record start coming out that my wife was doing, because John Paul Douglas did the visual art, my wife did the symbols for the record, and we saw that Sin in the Sentence symbol. And I contacted everyone like, this should be the title of the record. So just melded and shifted a lot.
Oh, right. So my next question was actually going to be about these emblems. So how did you kind of come up with the idea for that?
When my wife was doing the layout, she started coming up with symbols for every single song, which is something we didn't really know she could do, but she was going off the music, felt inspired, started making symbols based off of each one. And when we saw that triangle with the flame, we knew right away, like that's really cool. That's definitely got to be the symbol. Plus with Trivium, the triangle, it all seemed to make a lot of sense together. It just seemed right, and it naturally happened, naturally evolved into that point.
So what about the two of you as musicians? Was there sort of different elements that you wanted to try out on the album?
Yeah, with us we said no matter who comes up with what for this record, as long as it's us in the band, the best song is the one that's going to move forward. It doesn't matter who comes up with what part of what song or what part of the record. As long as all of us are doing it together, it will be Trivium. And I think a big thing with this record was that Paolo wrote the majority of the lyrics and the vocal melodies, which is something that historically hasn't really been done in the band. And it was really interesting for me going in and doing the vocals. I've been pushing the metaphor that it's been, I said this is a movie, and Paolo was the writer, Josh Wilbur was the director, and I was the actor. And I was able to get in a really different headspace with lyrics that I hadn't been living with the whole time. It's something that I can find my own meaning in, which was nice.
So I feel like as much as we were pushing the sound, experimenting on the songwriting side of stuff, when it came to the sonics and the mix, it was like we knew exactly what we were going to use, we knew what we wanted it to sound like, and it was really just, you know, Josh being an incredible producer and an engineer himself, you know, and just getting the best quality takes out of everything and using the amps and stuff that was as close to our live sound as possible. So on one hand, we were like, you know, getting really, you know, trying to experiment and push ourselves in the songwriting, and then, you know, really consistent when it came to the sound.
Okay, and finally, what would be the highest moment? You can either answer this, the two of you together or individually, but for your whole process of The Sin and the Sentence?
I think it was really being able to maintain the consistent vision from the beginning to the end. Us saying, hey, we're going to make the kind of music we want to hear as a band, regardless of any outside influence, just like Paolo was saying. And us being able to control this thing from the beginning, throughout the process, in the middle, and to the end. And we're still making sure everything is exactly the way we want to do it. Like, we completely finished this record, all the videos and all the artwork, and never told anybody. Didn't announce anything, didn't tease anything. So that when all the content was done, we can have an exact schedule of how we want this stuff to be released, so we can make an experience for people and not just dump social media teasers that are uncurated, that aren't specific, that aren't really leading towards anything. We wanted to have the movie trailer come out first and then slowly tease everything from there until the movie happens.
For me, it's kind of like a random spot to be like very proud of, but I felt like the pre-production was, because the recording was, at that point we were just reciting what we already knew. We knew what we were going to do. Hardest work came in the pre-production, and it really took a lot of planning, a lot of foresight to know that we had certain things we had to do in there, like working on the lyrics and vocals right away, getting Alex up to speed with how we did things. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of fun, and I'm really proud of that because I really feel like we came into our own as songwriters, as sort of kind of like producers in a way of our own stuff, bringing it, before we brought it to Josh, just kind of getting it all together, recording ourselves, listening to our own demos for whatever we do next. We have a good basis for where to go from here.
Cool. Well, thank you very much
man.
for having a chat.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.